Hi everyone, my name's James Ivy with Antelope Audio. In this video we're going to look at recording acoustic instruments, in this case an acoustic guitar, using Antelope Audio modelling microphones and Synergy Core effects. We'll talk about the routing and gain staging of the signal path, selecting and committing effects to tape, so to speak, as well as the fundamentals of mic placement and choosing the correct polar pattern for your instrument or recording situation. So, let's get to it. All the mics in the Antelope Audio range are well suited to recording acoustic instruments. However, the Antelope Audio Verge small diaphragm pencil condenser mic would be my first choice for recording an acoustic rhythm guitar part, as smaller diaphragm mics can respond more quickly to transient sounds, often making for a more dynamic recording. A large diaphragm mic like the Edge Solo or Edge Duo would also do a fantastic job, but large diaphragm mics tend to react ever so slightly more slowly, which can give a more relaxed, mellow vibe to your recordings. The Antelope Audio Verge mic records to a single channel and has a fixed cardioid polar pattern, meaning it will react to sound directly in front of it, but it will start to reject sound that is off axis, or not directly in front of the mic. You should always use a good quality mic stand that is solid with a heavy base. It does not have to be a super heavyweight studio style stand like this one. A conventional stand is fine, but it should be solid and tightened securely to put the head or capsule of the mic around 6 to 12 inches away from the instrument. Experience tells me to start with the mic pointing at around the 12th fret of the guitar, but you may get better results in other positions after some experimentation. However, it's never a good idea to point the mic directly at the sound hole of the instrument. This tends to lead to a woolly, muffled tone that is not very pleasing. For this session, we're using the Antelope Audio Orion Studio Synergy Core interface connected to a MacBook Pro via Thunderbolt running Pro Tools Ultimate. However, no matter which DAW you use, the process will be pretty much the same. We're going to record with the effects processing and mic emulations committed into the recording. First, in the Antelope Audio control panel, we're going to drag the first mic emulation node to AFX in 1. This means anything coming into our mic will be routed into our AFX chain. We are then routing from AFX out 1 into comp or computer record 1. We are also going to check that comp play 1 and 2 are routed to our main monitor outs and to our headphones. In this example, we're going to be monitoring on headphones from the playback of our DAW. For more detailed tutorials on complex routing and using the Antelope Audio software mixers, check out our tutorials called Advanced Routing and Real-Time Monitoring with Effects and Routing, Tracking and Monitoring with the Discrete Control Panel. Now, in your DAW, set up a mono record channel and make sure the input is set accordingly. In our current recording state, there are 2 points in the signal chain that we really need to keep an eye on. Where the signal comes into our system, i.e. the input gain to the mic preamp, and the level that hits our DAW. Too much level at either of these points could compromise our take. Setting the level that comes into our interface is done with the preamp gain controls, which can be accessed either from the front panel of the unit or from the control panel. However, we need to tell the first mic pre that has the Antelope mic modelling features, in this case channel 5, which mic we are using. I'm going to start recording using the Antelope Audio Verge mic, so I'll hit the mic emulation button and set the channel accordingly. The phantom power is automatically set for me. Now I slowly wind up the gain until I get a good level. Just over halfway up the meter is good, but not too much as we don't want to overdrive the input and cause a distortion. In a modern digital recording environment with an interface like the Orion Studio Synergy Core with its incredibly high signal to noise ratio, there's no need to get as hot a signal as possible to disc. A good level in at the mic preamp should translate to a good level hitting our DAW. There should be no sign of any red clipping indicators. Now it's time to add some processing to our chain. In AFX slot 1, I'm first going to add an EQ. I'm going to choose the VEQ1A. This emulation of a vintage classic valve equalizer will allow me to dial in some smooth top end while keeping the rest of the instrument nice and warm sounding. We can use the plug-in attenuation selector control to make sure we are not overloading the output and in turn driving up the gain of our recording channel. The buzz term here is gain staging. We're going to do our very best to make sure we keep a good strong signal through the chain while maintaining a good level of headroom to allow for any sudden changes in level in the performance. I'm now going to add the Opto 2A in compressor mode to take control of the dynamics of the instrument. Then I'll add the SMT 100A classic limiter with slow attack and release to add some extra character to the guitar tone without affecting the transients of the part. I'm not going to slam either of these hard, I just want their character in the recording. I'm really happy with how this is sounding, but I do feel there's more I could do. I'm going to add the VPA 76 German style vintage mic preamp to the top of the chain to help warm things up a bit. Let's check our level to Pro Tools is not too hot, and let's go for a take. If we fancy getting even more creative, we could add some vintage tape emulation with the reel-to-reel plugin, set to 30 IPS or inches per second to keep it hi-fi. And if we wish to keep adding processing, we can do, as we can have up to 8 effects in an effects stack. Or we can create a parallel chain where we again drag from our mic emulation input to the second of our AFX channels and route these to another comp record channel and inputs in our DAW. So with this configuration, we're capturing both of our process recording channels. Then, with the ultimate safety in mind, we could route from the mic pre, not the emulation path, directly to channels in Pro Tools as an unaffected, unprocessed, clean recording chain, just in case we fall out of love with the processed sounds. I said earlier that large diaphragm mics have a slower transient response and can hence give a more warm, mellow feel to recordings. Let's add the Antelope Audio Edge Duo mic to this setup, and we'll plug it into channels 7 and 8 on the Orion Studio Synergy core, and route the mic emulation inputs through AFX in 3 and 4, and route the AFX out accordingly to comp channels 5 and 6, and set up a stereo channel in Pro Tools. Let's set the mic to a wide cardioid pickup pattern, as I want to capture as much of the body resonance as I can with this mic. We will also use a mic emulation that simulates a warm, rich valve or tube mic. Now we can configure an effects path to complement the Verge mic recording chain. We'll position the mic over the sound hole, pointing down slightly. We can then blend this with the recording from the Verge to give us a nice full guitar tone. So there you go, there are some ideas for recording acoustic instruments using Antelope Audio modelling microphones, audio interfaces and Synergy Core effects. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's James Ivey and I hope to see you again very soon.